So what if the real secret to a longer, healthier life wasn't some magic pill, but something you could start building right now? Today, we're going to crack open the playbook for lifelong strength, pulling insights from some of the sharpest minds in fitness.
Let's just start with this question right here. Imagine there was a tool that could not only add years to your life, but add real, vibrant life to your years. Now, what if I told you that most of us are letting that tool just sit there and collect dust? Let's get into why.
Okay, first up, we have to get a handle on the sheer scale of this problem, because it's kind of this quiet crisis that's happening all around us. I mean, just look at these numbers. They're absolutely staggering. Experts figure that only about 5 to 15% of people are consistently doing any kind of resistance training. That means a huge majority, like 85% of us, are completely missing out on maybe the most powerful longevity tool we have.
And this is exactly why it's so critical. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon calls skeletal muscle the organ of longevity. Think about that. It's literally the engine for our overall wellness. But the really scary part, like Coach Mike Boyle points out, is that we lose this muscle so slowly, so silently, that we don't even know we're in a losing battle until it's almost too late to turn things around.
So you have to ask, what is holding everybody back? Well, let's take a hammer to some of the common myths that are stopping so many people from even getting started. You know, one of the biggest hurdles is this idea that you need some super complicated, time-sucking plan to see any real results. But what if the best approach was actually the simplest one?
In fact, according to physical therapist Jeff Cavaliere, you can build a powerful, effective foundation with just 6 core movements. Yeah, that's it, 6. Simplicity is really the name of the game here.
And here they are, the foundation 6. A row, a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, a pull-up, and even a curl. These 6 movements, they pretty much cover all your bases. The secret isn't some new, fancy workout every week. It's just getting progressively stronger at these core exercises, week in and week out.
Okay, let's bust another huge myth, that whole no pain, no gain thing. As Mike Boyle puts it, smart training should actually make you feel energized, not totally wiped out. You should feel challenged for sure, but not so sore that you can't even function the next day. And this one's a big one, especially for women. The fear of getting bulky. It's a massive misconception. Mike Boyle has a pretty funny way of saying it, but the truth is building significant muscle is incredibly hard for anyone. It's just not something you need to worry about when you're starting. Trust me.
All right, so what's the solution to all this? Well, it's a fundamental shift in how we approach training. It's all about playing the long game by being smarter, safer, and ultimately stronger for it.
This slide pretty much says it all, right? The difference between old school and smart school training. That traditional barbell back squat can put a ton of stress on your spine. But on the other hand, single leg exercises, like split squats, they can build just as much strength with way less risk. Plus, they're much more like the movements we do in everyday life.
And listen, this isn't just for newbies. We're talking about highly trained people, like Dr. Peter Attia, who have made this exact same shift. He basically says the risk just isn't worth the reward anymore. As you get older, the goal isn't to lift the most weight, it's to stay in the game, and avoiding one bad injury is everything. And you know what's wild? There's some really cool science to back this up. It's called the bilateral deficit. Basically, your brain is actually better at firing up muscle fibers when you're just working one leg at a time. This means you can often lift more weight per leg on a single leg exercise, making them not just safer, but potentially even more effective. Of course, even the smartest training in the world isn't going to get you there if you're not fueling your body right. What happens in the kitchen is just as critical, if not more so.
We've all heard it a million times, right? Abs are made in the kitchen. But what does that really actually mean? How much of the way we look is really sculpted by the food we eat?
Jeff Cavaliere has such a brilliant way of putting this. When people ask him for his secret ab exercise, he basically points to his diet. He says it's less about doing more crunches and more about the exercise of not overeating. Your body really is a direct reflection of your nutrition.
So the single most crucial piece of that puzzle is protein. According to Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, the absolute floor, the non-negotiable starting point for every single adult, doesn't matter if you're male or female, is 100 grams a day. It's absolutely essential for holding on to that precious muscle. And finally, this whole longevity mindset, it's not just for us adults. It's a philosophy that we really need to start applying to the next generation, right from childhood.
I mean, we see it everywhere, don't we? Kids are getting pushed to specialize in just one sport all year round from a super early age. But the big question is, are we actually helping them or hurting them?
The experts on this are really clear. Mike Boyle says you just have to follow the money. A lot of this trend is driven by businesses that need income all year, not by what's actually best for a kid's development. And the data doesn't lie. Kids are playing more and they're getting injured more. It makes no sense.
So, what's the better path forward? It's really about fostering a love for just moving, and you do that by encouraging kids to try a whole bunch of different sports. The goal should be to build a well-rounded, resilient athlete who's way less likely to get injured or just burn out completely. So look, here's the ultimate takeaway from all this. Training for longevity, it isn't about being the strongest person in the gym today. It's about being the person who can still get up and play the game decades from now. So the only question left is, what's your next move to stay in the game? Thanks for joining This Explainer.